Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over my summer seasonal TBR. So if you haven't seen my TBR videos before, the way I choose my monthly TBRs is by playing a TBR game where I take my seasonal TBR, which is a much larger TBR, and I play the game using those books, and I choose the books for my monthly TBR from there. So I am refreshing it for the summer. And some of these books were on my previous seasonal TBR. Most of them were not. And then some of the books that are going to be on this TBR are currently in my monthly TBR. So if I don't finish those in the month of May, we're in May, right? Yeah. In the month of May, they will just go back into my seasonal TBR as like that, as per usual. Any books that I don't finish on my May TBR that I'm not including in my summer seasonal TBR will just go back on my shelves. And I didn't go grab them. They're literally sitting right over there, but I didn't grab them. But I will let you know which ones are rolling over into this seasonal TBR. So I switched up my methodology for choosing books for this one. For the last seasonal TBR, I kind of just chose a bunch of random books that I was really excited about, that I really wanted to read, and I did not get to most of those, unfortunately. But I just did not have like a great first quarter of reading. But I wanted to refresh it. So I changed up the way that I chose the books. I chose a bunch of standalone books. And then I also chose some books that were already on my seasonal TBR, but I picked their sequels and put them in here too. So if there was a book on my seasonal TBR, I hope this makes sense. If there was a book on my seasonal TBR already that was the first book of a series and I owned the entire series, then I put it in this. There was only two of those. Three examples of that. In one of them, I'm not even sure if it's a completed series, but I have all of the currently available books, which is only two. And then one book that is technically part of a series, but also currently a standalone because the sequel to it doesn't come out until later this year. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to share the standalones first. So I have Paper Towns by John Green. I honestly have no idea what this book is about. I'm pretty sure this is like a random book that I got from a family member, probably my mom or my grandma, who was like planning on getting rid of it. So it looks like it's probably a movie. I don't know. Never seen it. Something about an adventure. We're gonna see. It's a standalone. I literally just went to my bookshelf and I grabbed a bunch of books and I was like, is this a standalone? Is this I grabbed a bunch of stuff and I was like, if it's a standalone, it's going in. So we'll see about that. I feel like this seasonal TBR is significantly smaller than my seasonal TBRs in the past, but I think that's fine because I am not getting through books super quickly. So next I have Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie, and this is like the movie cover, but I haven't seen the movie. I would like to see the movie, but I'm going to read the book first. This is a Hercule Poirot mystery. I don't know how to say his name, but she has like series of mysteries where it's like a series of standalones, but they have the same character in them. But you don't have to read them in any kind of order. So I have Death on the Nile, which is an Agatha Christie book, so it's a murder mystery. And then I have another Agatha Christie book, which is also in that same like line, or Hercule Poirot, whatever. And this is Black Coffee. I also, again, I don't know what this one's about, but it's a murder mystery, I'm sure. Yeah. So, some of the standalones that I chose them, which really just these three. I chose them because I don't really know that I'm going to care that much about them. So I figured I could try to read them, and whether I finish them or I DNF them, they might be like an easy boot to get off my shelves. So there's those. I have, let's see, The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. And do I know what this is about? I don't know what any of these are about. Oh, this sounds very similar to Pure Nessie. It says there's a labyrinth collection of tunnels and rooms filled with stories. Maybe not. I don't know, but we'll see. I don't even know if I read the synopsis when I bought this book. I think I just looked at it and I was like, the vibes are there, so I probably will like it. And then I also have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and this one is about a night circus. Could you imagine? It just pops up out of nowhere, and it's only open at night. Oh, there's a competition. Okay, the competition, duel between two young magicians. They've trained since childhood. Only one can live. So, I don't know. I think but I think the two people who are supposed to fight each other fall in love. Yes. See, here's the thing. I've mentioned this many, many times before, but I will buy a book, even if I read the synopsis. I'll buy a book, like I'll skim the synopsis, and if I decide that it sounds interesting, I'll buy it, and then I will completely forget what it's about. And then when I go to read it, I don't reread the synopsis for the most part. I just go in blind, and I was like, I know I bought this book for a reason. I know at one point I thought I was going to enjoy it. So, and then I go in with as little expectation as possible, and that is helpful for me. But I feel like maybe that's not as helpful for you guys if I'm trying to talk about which books I plan on reading. So apologies for that, but I have The Night Circus, and I'm very excited about that. Next is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, and I do know kind of what this one's about because I did just recently purchase this one, like literally a few days ago. So there's this village, and every year the village sacrifices a young woman to try and appease the sea god or something, because they think the sea god is mad at them. And the next person who's supposed to be sacrificed is this girl's brother's girlfriend. So to like save her brother from heartache, she takes the place of his girlfriend as the sacrifice. And then after she's sacrificed, she goes on this journey to like find and awaken the sea god to try and save her village. And then she like teams up with a ragtag group of demons or something. I don't know. But then time's a ticking because she's still technically alive or something. I don't know. And humans can't last very long in the spirit realm. So I think this sounded absolutely fascinating. The cover is beautiful. Hopefully I can get these absolutely horrendous stickers off of here. I hate that they put these stickers on here, and it's not always the same. Oh, that one came off so easily. I'm so happy. They don't always use the same material for these, I swear, because sometimes they come off like butter. And sometimes, actually that doesn't even make sense. Sometimes they come off really easily, and sometimes they're like super glued to the book, I swear. I probably should have paid better attention. This is not like bound super nicely. There's like this weird crease. It's not a super big deal, but it's kind of annoying when it, you know, when you consider the fact that I literally just bought this, but that is what that's about. We have Eliza Starts a Rumor by Jane L. Rawson. Did I say who this one was by? Axio. Yeah. This is one of the books that I got from the Dollar Tree a million years ago when I was just like, ooh, look, they have lots of books. Let me just try these. I don't really know anything about this other than there's someone named Eliza and she's starting rumors. I don't know what genre this is. Funny, romantic, raw, and hopeful. This is a story about being a woman and of the healing power of sisterhood. Okay. This is probably not going to be... Oh, it says... A smart, engaging treat for Big Little Lies fans. The perfect summer read. Well, I guess it's good that I'm putting this in the summer one. I don't know that this is going to be for me. I never read Big Little Lies, but I did watch some of the show, and it was okay. But I don't know that this is going to be for me. But I'm going to try. We'll see. We will see. Okay. Oh, this is one where the sticker's not going to come off. I think I tried to take that sticker off a million times already. This is The Bone Orchard by Sarah A. Mueller. And as far as I could tell, this is a standalone. Pretty sure. It was kind of hard to find information on whether or not this was a standalone, but from what I can tell, it is. This says it's a dark gothic whodunit. Fascinating. I actually did not buy this book. My husband bought this for me, so I didn't even read the synopsis, like, at all when I first got this. There's a garden where the trees are made of bones. Okay, that's cool. I know I read this synopsis at some point, but I've forgotten it already. So, but I don't understand. Side note, I don't understand because I will read the synopsis of a book and then I will fully forget what the book's about until I read it. And then once I read it, I'm not going to forget what the book's about. I will remember what it's about probably forever. I might forget some of the details, but I will be able to give you a synopsis of the book until the day I die, probably. So I don't really understand how that works, but probably because I've spent more time taking in the story. I don't know, but an orchard made of bones. Sounds real cool. Okay, next is How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. And yeah, my lip is really bugging me. Sorry. Somebody moved back from London. He's a history teacher. Oh, okay. I think I remember what this one's about. Yeah. So this guy, like, stopped aging, or he's like immortal or something. Yeah, he's like never gonna die. He's immortal. He's just living forever. And there's this society that tracks people like him to make sure that they're like not breaking any of the rules, because they're not allowed to be found out by anybody. And they're not allowed to fall in love, because obviously if you fall in love and you're immortal and the people around you aren't immortal and they're not supposed to know you're immortal, that leads to sticky situations, right? So you're not supposed to fall in love. I'm assuming mostly because you're not supposed to like form strong bonds to avoid like situations where people would find out your secret. So something about that. Sounds very interesting. I have 2 more standalones. One is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This one is Evelyn Hardcastle is killed, and then there's a guy who has to figure out who her killer is, and until he does, she, like, it's like a Groundhog's Day situation with, like, the same day is going to repeat over and over again, and she keeps getting killed, but he keeps getting launched into the body of a different, like, witness every day, and so every day he's, like, gathering more and more clues, I guess, until he figures out who killed her. And honestly, the only reason I remember that is because I've read this synopsis like 5 million times because I keep putting it in in TBRs. So there's that. And then the last one, the last standalone, is The Carnival of Curiosities, a novel by Amy Gibbs. And I don't remember what this one's about. Spooky carnival, probably. Someone comes calling with a proposition. Something about secrets that threaten security of someone. No choice. Insidious contract. I'm just looking for buzzwords in here. Oh. Sounds like it's going to be a forbidden romance with a spooky carnival thrown in there. So, cool. Okay, now I'm going to go through the series ones. One set of books is technically not a series, but they are kind of related in a way. So, the first one I have here is Ruthless Vows, which is the sequel to Divine Rivals, and Divine Rivals is currently over yonder in my May TBR. So, oh no, what? How did that happen? No, my dust jacket is ripped. Oh my god, it must have come like that because it's literally just been sitting on my shelf this entire time. So it must have already been ripped or something. Oh, I'm so sad. That makes me so sad. It's alright. It'll be okay. It'll be fine. Okay. So, this is a duology, so I do own both books. And as long as I don't read... not as long... If I don't read Divine Rivals this month, it will be put into this TBR. Along with its sequel. So... there's that. Also, I think I'm going to be doing something a little different when I go to do my June TBR, when I do my TBR game. I think what I'm going to do is with any of the series that are on this seasonal TBR, if I land on one of the books in the series during that game, I think I'm going to pull the whole series and put it on my TBR. And that will come with some other rules to kind of try and like keep myself from having a TBR that's like way overboard and overwhelming. But I'm going to have to think about that a little bit more, but I think I'm going to do something like that. Next is Elantra by Kaylee Smith, which is the sequel to Phantasma, which is currently on my May TBR. I believe it's the sequel to Phantasma. Is it not? Is it just... It's gotta be. Now I need to look it up. Because I feel like I'm going crazy. Because it doesn't say anything about being a sequel, but it does... It says best-selling author of Phantasma, but it doesn't say it's... Oh, it is. It is. Okay. I was like, the cover looks identical. Like, it does. It says... It's got a number 2 right there. So, whew. Psyched myself out for a second. So, I don't know if there's only going to be 2 or if this author plans on writing more, but if I read these 2 and there's going to be more, I will at least be caught up. So, those 2 are in here. Next is Quicksilver, And this is the book that I said is not a standalone, but is kind of currently a standalone, because the sequel to this book, I believe, is supposed to come out in the fall of this year. So if I read this before then, I will be caught up and I will be able to buy the sequel. And I have been dying to read this book. So this is in here. I really want to try and make this a priority because I have been dying to read it. And now that I know it's not a standalone, I don't want to get behind on it. I mean, does it really matter? I'm behind on like literally 90% of the series that I own a book in, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. The next two are technically not part of a series, but they do kind of go together a little bit. So the first one is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. And this is literally what it sounds like. I'm pretty sure it's like a summer, you know those like summer horror movies? I think it's like that in a book. So there's that. And then this one is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. And they are different stories. I don't think they have any characters that are the same. But they do take place in the same town. From what I saw, they take place in the same town. This one takes place, I think, like 5 or so years later. So that's why they're both on here. Because if this book takes place in the same town but like later in time, I know I'm going to want to read the one that happens first, even if they're not connected. I just know that about myself. So that's why they're both in here. Like that. And then the last 3 books, actually no, not the last 3 books on this TBR, because technically I do have some standalones in my May TBR. Let me actually tell you about those first. So first I have Immortal, and then I have Starling House. Yes. So those are the 2 standalones that I have in my May TBR that will be on this seasonal TBR if I don't read them in May. And then the last 3 books I have are part of a series, and they are the Caraval series. So that's not the correct order, but I do own all 3. So I have Caraval, Legendary, and Finale. And those all 3 will be going in here. Caraval was already in my previous seasonal TBR, but I have all 3, so I figured I would just throw them all in here. And I know that there's another series that is related to this one that is recommended that I think it's recommended that you read this series first, so it's a good thing I have this one first. But since this is technically a complete series, I'm putting all 3 in here. So that is my entire summer seasonal TBR, and like I said, I think that's smaller than other seasonal TBRs I've had. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, 23 books. Yeah, I think that's might be the smallest I've had, the smallest seasonal TBR. How many times did I say TBR in this video? Oh my god. I think usually I have closer to the higher end of the 20s into the 30s, but like I said, I really haven't been reading super quickly recently, so this will be perfectly fine. And I am very excited about switching this up. I have like a whole stack here of books that I took out of the other one, because they're all first books in a series, and the amount of first books in a series that I have is kind of embarrassing, honestly. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If there are any books on this TBR, I don't know what I was saying because I just stopped the video, but if there are, I think I was saying if there are any books on this TBR that you want me to try and prioritize, I can try to do that. It'll be a little tricky because I do most of the time pull from this like randomly in my TBR games, but if they get pulled, I can prioritize them then. So you can let me know if there are any in here that you want to know my thoughts on. But that is it. So if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.